I'm doing the comparison for you so you don't have to. Today's video, let's compare between the Utrip card, Trust card and Instagram for the best multi-currency exchange rate that these three has to offer. Let's rank them and also talk a bit more which one should you bring on your travels. Let's go. On the 28th of December, I spent using Utrip and Trust card, and this was the difference. I incurred 298 NTD at an exchange rate of 22.78 using the Utrip debit card. Later on in the day, I spent using the Trust Bank credit card at a rate of 22.8, incurring 249 Taiwan dollars. Comparing between the two cards from Utrip and Trust Bank, the exchange rate difference was only 0.02. And on 30th December, I spent using BigPay. BigPay, I incurred a total of 299 NTD at a rate of 22.55. Trust Bank, later on in the day, I spent 500 NTD at a rate of 22.7066. Even though the transactions are not spent at the same time, it is within the same day and the difference in exchange rate was 0.15. So it seems that Trust Bank's exchange rate has been the top among these two comparisons on different days. Later on in the week, on 1st of January 2023, I actually spent at Starbucks using Instagram Amaze card and the exchange rate was 22.44, and this is lower than BigPay and lower than Trust Bank itself. Instagram Amaze benefits is good if you are using a card that will allow you to earn benefits on it. It converts your transaction into an online transaction and you still will be able to earn rewards like 4 miles per dollar, if not some cash back from the online transaction that you are doing abroad as well. However, the exchange rates I realized on Instagram Amaze is not as good as Trust Bank and not as good as the Utrip card. I'm not going to go into further details of Instagram Amaze. If you want more details about that, you can refer to Honey Money SG. He covers a lot about Instagram Amaze. And today, let's just go into Trust Bank because comparing between Utrip and Trust Bank has better exchange rates even though it is a slight difference only. Let's go into what Trust Bank is about, and if you do not hold any multi-currency debit cards out there, maybe you should apply for Trust Bank. For those of you who have the Utrip card already, the difference in rates is not a lot, so I don't think it's worth it for you to actually go and apply for it if you're not going to be traveling as often. Utrip is sufficient. However, Trust Bank offers more than just multi-currency exchange rates. Let's go into more details. Trust Bank is the newest kid on the block. It is a digital bank that allows you to earn interest on the savings cap with them. If you deposit your first 75,000, you'll be earning 1.5% on that amount, no strings attached. However, if you want to earn a higher interest rate, you can get the debit or credit card, make 5 transactions and you'll be able to earn 0.5% extra. That makes it 2%. And if you are an NTUC union member, you will get an extra 1% instead. That effectively will be 2.5% on the first $75,000 kept with that digital bank. Trust Bank gives you either the option of credit card or a debit card, and it is the only credit card out there that allows you to choose your repayment date. So you decide when you want to pay your credit card bills. That is entirely up to you. There's no annual fee and no foreign transaction fee at all. Let's go into the fine print and then we'll digest whatever there is. I do have an interpretation which I think you might get charged a fee if you do an ATM withdrawal overseas. So let's go to the fine print. Under ATM withdrawal fee charges, they indicated that you will be able to get a cash advance depending on local regulation when you're overseas, and there's no ATM withdrawal fee. However, because it is a credit card, when you withdraw money overseas, it is considered a cash advance, meaning they are actually loaning you the money that you are taking out from the ATM. Scrolling down, there's actually an interest charge for cash advance. Effective interest rate is at 26.9% per annum based on a 365-day year minimum. If the payment is not made in full by the due date, interest will be calculated daily at 0.074% from the respective transaction dates for all transactions until the date of payment is received. So my interpretation of this sentence, for example, it's saying if you do go to an ATM overseas and you withdraw $500, you will be charged 0.074% on the amount withdrawn from the date of transaction. So from today, I'll be charged 0.074% on the $500 if I don't pay the amount immediately today. However, you must take note that if you do pay the amount today, it doesn't mean that Trust Bank will receive it immediately. If you're transferring from another bank, I believe it takes a few working days. If you go to Trust Bank itself, they mentioned that transfers to pay off the statement will actually take 2 working days. $500 times the percentage that you will incur for this cash advancement amount. In total, 2 days, you take 500 times 0.074% times 2 days is 74 cents on the $500 that you withdraw overseas. This is cheaper than Utrip card ATM withdrawals because any amount that you withdraw using the Utrip debit card, you will incur a $5 ATM withdrawal fee. And yeah, so that's the differences between the two, and that is how I interpret this. If I'm wrong, do correct me in the comment section below. I'm not exactly sure because I have not done it myself. However, I think I will be using the Trust card and withdrawing overseas when I reach Korea. What I've realized in my recent travels is that when you do exchange cash in Singapore at Raffles Place or any place that gives you good exchange rate, it is never better than using a multi-currency card overseas. Take for example, for my Taiwan trip this time round, I've gone to Raffles Place to do the exchange at 21.5 Taiwan dollars per 1 Singapore dollars. However, when I spend on the multi-currency exchange card over here, the rate is always above 22 point something, and it is always almost very close to what you search on Google. At the money exchanger in Singapore, you will never be able to get this kind of rates. If you are able to find a multi-currency card company that will actually allow you to withdraw money overseas at no fees involved, you can take advantage of that, get the good exchange rate, and do the ATM withdrawal overseas. Do keep in mind that it also depends on the country that you're traveling to. In Taiwan, not a lot of places accepts cards, and that is my struggle over here. On the streets at night markets, of course, you will not be able to use any cards there. In some 7-Eleven, you will be able to use a card and make your payment. However, I've encountered some 7-Eleven that does not accept card payments as well, so it varies. But in my trip to South Korea, a lot of places accepted cards. In some markets, those vendors actually accept cards as well. South Korea is one country that you'll be sure cards will be accepted there. In Taiwan, not so much. So depends on the country that you're traveling to. Make your own decision based on that. And yeah, it doesn't hurt to always bring some amount of cash overseas, but carry along with you some form of multi-currency cards, not a bank's debit or credit card. I've always talked about this because they charge you dynamic currency conversion fee, and the inflated amount is just not worth it at all. The currency exchange rate with banks is also very low. Make sure you find cards like Utrip card, cards like Trust Bank's credit card or debit card, and also Instagram. Instagram is not too bad, although the rates is slightly lower. If you really compare it between using a bank's debit or credit card, I would recommend using the Instagram Amaze card if you really want to. There are a few companies that actually offers multi-currency exchange rates like Utrip. I will list the different companies over here, and it will be according to what I would prefer using based on the fact that they offer better exchange rates among each other. This is my comparison between the 4 cards that I've brought with me: Utrip, Trust Bank, Instagram Amaze, and BigPay. I've excluded Revolut in this. I just don't like the whole interface of Revolut. For those of you who love it, kudos to you. But this is my comparison between the 4 multi-currency cards. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you want to sign up with each and every one of them, I do have related links that you can sign up with, and it'll really help with supporting this channel. And I thank you so much in advance. If you have any questions, make sure you go to my Instagram, DM me over there. If not, leave the comment down in the comment section below. I'll make sure I'll read them and get back to you ASAP. That's all I have for this video. If you know of someone that will find this beneficial, share it with them, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.